It was Mrs. Baugh's wish that girls in the family should wear the dress on their wedding day. The girls in the family.
We didn't know anything about
So
it.
you weren't even considered...
No, family.
And this was your grandmother?
That was our grandmother, yeah.
I think the biggest mystery in my family is what happened to my grandfather, my mother's father, who disappeared when she was about 8 years old, 70 years ago, and has never been heard from or seen since. So my quest is really to find out what happened to George Baugh.
Kim's mother is visiting family in England, so Kim is flying over to join her and begin the search for George Baugh.
You know, I want to protect my mom. I want to protect her from being hurt further. But at the same time, I feel she's ready to look at the truth of what happened to George Baugh.
Kim is meeting with her mother, Shane, and Shane's two younger sisters, Marjorie and Dorothy. Kim's grandmother, Marion, and her 3 daughters were left penniless after Kim's grandfather, George Baugh, abandoned the family over 70 years ago.
Auntie Dolly, how are you?
Come say hi.
Hello. Oh, it's so nice to see Dolly. It's great to see
Nice
you.
to see you.
Hi, Mom. How are you?
Oh,
Oh, it's so good to see you. Oh, God. And Margie. Hello. The girls are all here. So we have a chinwag about your dad and my granddad. Let's go. Hope the tea's on. I've never seen a picture of my granddad. Was there ever a photograph that...
Well, the nearest to Kim is this one, and unfortunately you can't really see his face very well.
So where's George Baugh?
Well, he's looking through the window there.
He so didn't want his picture taken that he would not even come out for a family wedding
No,
photo.
obviously not.
I used to think he must be wanted by the police or something. Because why would someone hide their identity?
If they didn't have
If
something
they didn't
to
have
hide.
something to hide.
So the only picture of George Baugh that exists is behind a curtain
As far as we know.
75 years ago.
Yeah, it's a long time.
Wow. That's amazing. What do you remember about George when he left?
I can remember that it seemed to be early morning. There weren't too many people around. I heard a noise at the window, and I think he was throwing small rocks up at it. And I opened the window and looked out, and he was standing below. And he told me that sorry. This is incredible.
This is really incredible to hear all
So emotional.
That's okay.
And he wanted me to go with him.
Yes.
And he brought some pencils and some coloring books for me, because he knew I liked to write. And when I said that I wouldn't go with him, I was going to stay with my mother, then he just left.
And you never saw or
I
heard
never
from
saw
him again?
No. The thing I want to know most of all is why. What drove him to this? There must have been a reason, of which I have no idea whatsoever. I don't think anyone did.
So what was it like after your dad, George Baugh, left?
There was no money coming in, so Mother had to sell everything.
Yeah.
We had no furniture. Sometimes we didn't even have a fire. You know, you grew used to things like that. It was just the everlasting not having anything to eat.
Yeah.
There's a tap in the backyard and a toilet. And they were infested with cockroaches, you know.
Mice.
Bugs. And mice.
Bugs. Everything.
And bugs.
Everything.
It sounds like something out of a Dickens novel.
It was a nightmare, wasn't it?
Wherever he'd gone, after 10 years of marriage, George Baugh had suddenly disappeared, leaving his wife Marion and 3 daughters in the worst possible circumstances. The abandoned family was left to fend for themselves in one of the poorest neighborhoods in Great Britain, which in 1938 was still suffering the effects of the worldwide depression. Now a single mother, Marion struggled to support her 3 daughters without any help from the Baugh family, including George's mother, Amy, who lived nearby.
Where was the Baugh family? I mean, why did they not come into...
I don't remember any of them.
They were invisible. Absolutely
So
nothing.
what was the last you ever heard?
Years ago, 1980, I came across this. A wedding dress that my gran Amy Baugh had made.
George's mother had made.
Yeah. For anyone that was in the family.
It was Mrs. Baugh's wish that girls in the family should wear the dress on their wedding day. The girls in the family.
We didn't know anything about
So
it.
you weren't even considered...
No, family.
And this was your grandmother?
That was our grandmother.
Wow. So this is Edna, George Baugh's sister.
Yeah.
And this is her daughter.
Yeah.
Leslie Radcliffe, age 22, who lives with her parents in Hunts Cross.
That was
Oh,
29 years ago.
29 years
It could be
ago.
anywhere. And there'll be neighbours, probably, that will remember, huh?
This is a great clue.
Well, it's the start, isn't it, of your journey?
Yeah, it is.
Kim has just learned that her grandfather, George, had a sister, Edna Baugh, who lived in a suburb of Liverpool with her daughter, Leslie Radcliffe, almost 30 years ago.
I'm imagining Edna's probably passed away, so I'm hoping to meet Leslie and see if she can tell me anything about her mom's brother. Doesn't appear to be anybody home. Maybe someone next door would know. Hello. My name is Kim Cattrall.
You're never going to believe this, but I worked with your auntie in the old people's home.
Oh, my Aunt Dorothy.
Yeah.
Dorothy Baugh.
Yes, you said.
That's so nice to
Tell
meet
me
you.
all about you.
Oh, she did. So you're the next door neighbor of the Radcliffes.
Yeah.
We found this newspaper clipping, and it said that Edna Radcliffe lived at this address with her daughter Leslie.
She did, yeah.
And did Edna pass away?
No, Edna's alive. I'm still in touch with Edna.
Oh, really? Edna's still alive?
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
would you happen to know where she lives?
I do.
That would be fantastic.
And of course, I knew her sister.
So there's two sisters
so
of
there
my,
are two.
my grandfather that,
There are two
that
sisters.
lives. That's even more exciting.
Let's see, I haven't got my glasses
So
on.
two of my grandfather's sisters are alive, and I have an address for one of them, so that's really incredibly exciting.
Kim is heading to Derbyshire to meet her grandfather's younger sisters, who were just children at the time of their brother's disappearance. This is the closest Kim or anyone in her family has gotten to George Baugh in over 70 years.
They must have so much more information, not just about where George went, but about who he was and how he was. And that I think will be incredibly informative